Run back near wall. Tie up in the hash mark. Pro on his weak side. Ovechkin! He scores! Alex Ovechkin scores from the left dot! This game is tied! And Ovechkin picks one up here in Winnipeg! It's goal 8-8-9!
And that is John Walton making the call from Winnipeg the other night in that overtime loss. And how many times have you been able to make the call with Ovechkin getting a goal?
It's happened a few times. That guy's really loud, isn't he?
I hear your voice all the time when listening to the NHL Network on the radio. I tell you, it's great, John, because there's so much passion coming from you when they score a goal. When they don't score a goal, when they get up, we go a little bit quieter. A
little bit more subdued, yeah. So we try and give you the whole story, but we don't. We have a little bit of a favor, just like you would be, I'm sure, from Minnesota. But, that's the way we try and do it.
Yeah, you being from Minnesota, from Plymouth, you told me.
Yes,
How did you get into broadcasting?
You know, my dad used to take me to Gopher games at Williams Arena, and I used to watch you and Kurtzy back before it was Fox 9. It was just Channel 9, and I grew up watching you guys, and it was always something that I was interested in. I wasn't very good skating on the ponds, but I certainly did that. And just being around campus, my dad taught in the marketing department at the U, so it was something I always really wanted to do, and I was fascinated by radio and television and had the opportunity to be able to do this now 14 years from Minnesota. And I never could have imagined being a kid with my snowmobile suit on, going out and all the snow drifts, that I'd be following around the greatest goal scorer of all time 6 goals from now. It's been quite a ride.
How much fun has this been?
It's been unreal. I mean, when you look at the way the year's gone, I mean, we thought he was going to have it done before we even got here because he got off to such a great start, and then he breaks his leg, and it was just emotionally, it was like falling off a cliff. It was like, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to do that now. And sure enough, 6 weeks later, he's back. He's scoring. It's close. Maybe we get to that point. I mean, you need 6, and once we get done with this game tonight, he's got 10 games to go. So it's right on that line, maybe in those last 2 or 3 games. But just watching this and describing the moments that happen, it's been one of the most fun things I've ever been a part of.
And, John, the thing is, it really has put hockey on the map, too, for a lot of people who didn't know what it was all about. But now they're following him. I'm looking down here, and in my pub, I'm seeing all these people with Washington Capitals jerseys coming in. I mean, they're following it. We had people in the pub yesterday from Russia who came over, and then they're following him wherever he goes. They want to watch him and if he breaks records this year, which I hope it happens this year.
Yeah, I think we all hope that it does. We've got a radio super fan from Melbourne, Australia, who is following us around here and been around and watching a lot of games, and just the international attention and so many Cats fans. I mean, there's a lot of Cats fans in a lot of places because of Alex and what he's done over 20 years. And a lot of people, I think, were planning at the beginning of the year, I better buy for Minnesota because it's late March. That might be when it happens. So, there's a lot of red in the stands here tonight, and I'm sure a lot of people that made the trip here too. And it's such a great place to watch a game anyway. So I'm sure if I was looking at the beginning of the year, I would have picked Minnesota too. But it's been just an event, a spectacle everywhere we've been.
Of course, they're trying to catch Wayne Gretzky. I'm looking at Gretzky has played 1,487 games. This tonight is 1,482 for the Great 8. All right, you look at the goals. Gretzky at 894 and the Great 8 at 889. Just a 5 goals difference in over a span of 20 years. Each one of those players in 20 years in the National Hockey League. It's amazing how close the numbers are.
Yeah, dead heat, and even in empty net goals. I know a lot of people have said around Alex, he gets a bunch of empty nets. Well, Wayne did too.
Well, yeah.
And that's just, they're almost even in that. They're almost even in games played. There's so much that's mirrored each other, and there's such mutual respect. And I know that when we get within 3, that Wayne's going to start traveling with us. Gary Bettman will start traveling with us. And for us, Nick Backstrom is going to start traveling too. And Nick, who we wish was still playing and dishing the puck and just didn't quite have the longevity, unfortunately, to be able to get there. But it'll be very emotional when it happens to see those 3 people come out onto the ice. And for Caps fans, the most emotional will be Nick Backstrom because nobody assisted on more, and it's a shame he just wasn't there at the end to be able to get 895.
And then, of course, that's Nick Backstrom from your team. We also had Nicholas Backstrom.
The guy who dishes the puck, not stops it, right?
When you look at your team right now, I mean, all the hype is around him, and how has he handled it?
He's handled it great. I mean, when you think about, like, I know, ESPN's here tonight, and they've got, like, the Ovechkin broadcast where they're following every move you make. And in every city we go to, and, in Canada, he will usually get that anyway, but every city, you were in San Jose a couple of weeks ago, and they say everybody is congregating and talking and wanting to see this and talk about it and be a part of it. And everybody, they want, Wild fans want to see Minnesota win tonight. I don't think they'd be upset if they got to see an Ovechkin goal this close to 895 either in a Minnesota win. So, I mean, that's really the spirit of what it's gone on. He's handled it great. I mean, when you think about it, and he's at every turn getting asked a lot of the same questions. I mean, it's well, how do you feel? Like, it's just, well, it's exciting. Of course it is, right? I mean, but I think he's handled it with a lot of grace. That was the word that Spencer Carberry used. I think it's a good one.
And I think also the fact that he loves playing against Minnesota. He's played 24 games against them. He's picked up 38 points, 20 of those being goals. So he loves to come to this. And watching him, just watching him during the power play, he gets to the offensive blue line. And he just kind of stands there for a little bit until the puck goes. Then he moves in. He puts himself in a position where he's wide open in case the puck comes to him, which it does many times.
He, believe it or not, Tom, in this building, his highest goals per arena is Minnesota. It's even higher than Washington. It's higher than anywhere. For whatever reason, Minnesota and St. Louis are two Western Conference teams that he scored a lot of goals in those buildings. Had a hat trick in here. The only all-power play hat trick he's ever had in this building. And the bulk of his goals haven't actually come in Washington against the Wild. It's been here. So I think we all were kind of, well, he likes playing here. Maybe we'll see. But, yeah, as we get closer, I thought he had one there in the first period. It had a chance to tip it, and it comes right back to him. Those are the kind of goals in tight. Maybe not the big boomers anymore, but he can still wind up when he's got the time and space. He can still do that, too.
How long can he play? I mean, he's a big, strong guy. I mean, he's 228 pounds or 38 pounds, whatever it may be, but he's got the strength. He's got the stamina. Does he have the will to do it?
I think so. I mean, he's got one more year on the contract, so I've always kind of had in the back of my mind that it's probably one more, and I don't like thinking about that too much because when I've seen everywhere we go, it's all highlights through his whole career on every TV monitor and every press box we go to, and it makes me sad because I know it's coming to an end. And with Nick Backstrom and even with TJ Oshie, Warroad's own, to be able to watch these guys, and now Alex is getting to that stage, and he has changed hockey forever in Washington. He's done it all in a Capitals uniform. He has forever cemented this franchise as being one of the greats of the game, in large part because of him and what he's done in the last 20 years to make hockey the coolest thing to do in D.C., and it's been a very fun ride. I don't want it to end. I know it's coming, but I'm trying not to think about that.
One of the guys we should talk a little bit about being from Minnesota, Charlie Lindgren, what he has brought to the table for you guys as a goaltender.
He's been great. I know a big chunk of Lakeville is here for this one tonight. His family's in attendance. He's only played, I know he's played here other times, but not at the NHL level, but this is only the second time, and he's never beaten the Wild either. So I know it would mean a lot to him to get the win. He's got a new contract extension. He is beloved in this room. He single-handedly got this team into the playoffs last year because, quite frankly, I don't think they deserved it. They won 4 of their last 11 games, but they had just enough, and Charlie just willed them into it, and it was a quick out from the Rangers. But now they've learned so much from that experience, and you saw Protas break out, and you saw McMichael break out, and all those kids on this team that have grown because of that experience. And Charlie was a big part of it. He's still going to play a lot of games. Logan Thompson's probably going to start game 1. He's had an outstanding year coming over from Vegas. But Charlie, for the next 3 years after this, he's going to be in Washington. He loves D.C. And all we do is talk about fly fishing and how we can't wait to get back to the Twin Cities.
And I hope he loses today.
And you hope he loses today, and that's okay. I understand.
John Walton, our guest up here from Washington. Kevin, let's go back to you.
Nice job, John, for joining us. We'll get you a gift certificate down to Tom Reid's Hockey City Pub. We got to scramble to break. The Capitals lead the Wild 2-1 after 1. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.